Hey everybody, just getting set up. Hope you're all going well. Just want to make sure that I'm dialed in here as well. Hello Graham Ellis, first on the job. Also, as always, appreciate you just dropping in and also letting me know whereabouts you're from. Hello to Justin Fraser, to Christy Montgomery Ewing, Kelvin Pitts, Mark Berg, Marissa Gilming, Aussie, absolutely. Looking forward to tonight. I always look forward to tonight. My name is Wade Aunger. I am not from Knoxville, Iowa, but for at least a couple of weeks of the year, I pretend that I am. Hey, Dave Farrell, good to see you. Also, Darren Jacqua, hope I said that right, Robert Fosberg, Kathy Benscoter. Always good to see all you guys tuned in. Also, Mario Mars, such a cool name. This is going to be fun. I didn't realise until before that it's actually his birthday. So that worked out really well. I tried really hard to gate crash Sheldon and Zan Hordenscheld's wedding. Looked amazing. I don't know if you guys saw all of the social media that came out of that. Hello, Jamie Brockman. Always doing a good job at Knoxville, mate. Always good to catch up with you as well. But that wedding of the Hordes looked just amazing. Hey, can I ask a favour, everybody? Could you share this? Just reach down on the old share button there somewhere and just press share. Let's get as many of these views out as we possibly can. Also want you to get across KnoxvilleRaceway.com and check out the Denison Racing Tees winter apparel for your Knoxville Raceway apparel. Get to rug up and look really cool. Some of the stuff they've got out there is just super, super cool. So get on board that. Also get onto the page itself and click down and join the dirt. It always sounds weird when I say that, the dirt, so that you can get across Eric's fantastic newsletters that tell you all about upcoming dates, ticket sales, news, information, all that sort of stuff. I always look forward to getting mine as well. So just jump on the dirt, get across the Twitter account, Instagram, and of course our Facebook page as well. Wow. Next week, I can already tell you we're that well organised. Next week, we'll be having David Gravel on the show. So looking forward to it. He'll be our final guest before Christmas. Looking forward to having David on the program and finding out what his plans are for next season. Because as you know, there's been a change, or you may not know, there's been a change. He's now no longer racing for Jason Johnson Racing. That's now going to be Carson Macedo. Tell you more about what Dave's doing next week. In the meantime, what I do know is that we're about to head to Pennsylvania, into the basement, actually, of Logan Schuchart. So make sure you just share this all for me. We're going to talk about dates and all that sort of groovy stuff very soon, but let's go and check out the birthday boy. And I know that you're all going to sing happy birthday with me, even if it's in spirit, as I now go and dip into Logan Schuchart's basement. Now, it says Summer Small on the bottom, but we all know that is actually not the case. Firstly, happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Logan. Happy birthday to you. Hip hip, hooray. Hip hip, hooray. Hip hip, hooray. Happy bloody birthday to you, mate.
Thanks, buddy. Thank you, bud. Thanks for having me. Thanks for a little birthday song.
Wasn't the most in-tune birthday rendition I've ever heard, and it will definitely be improved at some point during the night, I'm sure. 28, is that how old you are?
28, yep.
Wow, those were the good old days. Crikey Moses. What have you been doing on your birthday so far, mate?
Well, they ask you if you feel older today, but I was out. I did some sledding with my little brother in summer. We went. I think it's the first time I can remember it snowing on my birthday, at least since I was a little kid. So it's kind of cool. We went sledding down the driveway for a little bit. That was fun. I was at the garage earlier, just hanging out with the guys, did a little iRacing, but just hanging out, ready to talk to you, bud.
Nice. Sledding. So I like the way you say that. You've obviously left the G out because it's probably called sledding, I'm guessing, or maybe it's just called sledding. Please tell me, what does that involve, mate? Because for those of us down here that don't have snow, what are you doing?
Sledding, you're right. It's sit on a plastic piece of nothing and slide down slippery snow.
So you don't like, get on the front wing?
People don't have a
you don't get on a front wing or something like that, mate? You're always going with like a proper apparatus, or do you improvise?
Oh, I think less downforce is better. No, we need some tubes is what we need. They really get going. But no, I haven't been in. I went with Jennifer and Richard Marshall one year. We were out in Lake Tahoe. We did some skiing. That was pretty cool. But we have some of them things around here, but we don't get to go to them very often. So we stick to going down the driveway.
Mate, tell me what's going on behind you. There's a couple of things that I'm looking at in your basement that we probably don't have in Australia as well. There are two things I'm looking at apart from your cool Dryden gear. What's on the wall?
Oh, this is a kangaroo. This is my grandfather. But nah, it's a deer I shot last year. Actually got to hang out with Summers family, Smalls, up in state game land, so that's pretty cool. My dad's side of the family has always been really into hunting, and that's something I get to enjoy in the fall time. And main reason is just to hang out with them. But if I'm able to put some groceries in the fridge, that's good too. So, but now cool photo that I've always had of my grandfather back here. I believe is actually, I'm not really too positive on that one, mid 70s or early 70s, but his M&J Coal Company car that was actually a teammate to Lynn Paxton. I believe when they first started out, Lynn was the #1 car, and they just put an A on my grandfather's car, so that's kind of where he got the #1A from. I believe when he raced go-karts and he was a world go-kart champion, he was #4. I'm not always too great with that stuff, but I believe that's correct. So, but just a cool photo that my mom and dad saved for me, and was in my dad's garage for a while. And now that I got a house, it's able to hang on our wall.
I love the panel on the left rear side, on the Nerf bar. Like it's almost got this like aerodynamic style panel up the left there.
Yeah, I wish I was just with actually my uncle Gary the other week, and he was talking about he worked on this car. And for those who don't know, his son Michael Newman is who builds our engines. So it's all in the family, and it goes back a long way. So, but Gary worked on this car, and they're just talking about what those things are called, and I wish I could think of it right now. But yeah, definitely cool, different style race car, and kind of seen how things evolved since then.
I'm sure someone's going to tell us, Logan. That's the cool part about these Facebook Lives. Somebody will definitely tell me at some point what they're called. Jim,
I hope they do.
Jim's asking a question here. Is that a picture on an asphalt track, or is it just slick?
No, that's dirt. That would have been a dirt car. I would guess somewhere around Central PA. I'm not sure the exact track. I should ask, and I should know that. But no, somewhere here in Central PA.
Okay. Rick Hunt is saying happy birthday to you, mate. Rick does a great job on sprintcarfan.com, one of my favorite American Facebook or worldwide Facebook pages which celebrate sprint car racing right across the board. Mate, I was talking to you before. It's a widely confused situation. Jacob Allen, Logan Schuchart. Who is who? Are you brothers? Are you uncle? Are you nephew? I had my head around it, and then Jacob comes out and puts "Happy Birthday, brother," and that just threw me completely out to lunch, mate. What's going on?
It's like you guys say mate, we say brother. No, I don't. It's that's Jacob and I have been grown up. We're same age. Basically, I'm a year and a half older than he is, so we just grew up racing together, hanging out at my grandfather's go-kart track, racing go-karts as kids together, and always been close. So it's he is my uncle. I'm his nephew, and I'm a year and a half older than him. So that's usually confusing. Goes into a long conversation of, well, how's that work? So we usually just tell people we're either brothers or cousins or something like that. And it's just easier. But no, I think of Jake as a brother, and we've always been. Yeah, that's a pretty cool post that Jake put out there today, and yeah, been close for a long time, so that's pretty cool.
So, given that you are so close, and mate, the whole world seemed to be affected by Jacob winning his first World of Outlaws main event. So I know that your family just lost their minds over it. It was one of the greatest moments for Shark Racing, but it was also one of the greatest moments in outlaw racing. So many people were so genuinely thrilled, and even something little, Logan, like Sheldon and Zan Hodenshield making the lights aqua underneath their motorhome that night. Like just little, you had to be pretty emotional, mate.
It definitely was. Just it couldn't work out any better. Jacob winning his first race, and myself being able to run second to him that night. Just it couldn't have worked out any better, really. So it's we've had a few second and thirds together, but never a first and second, no matter which way it happened. So that it could happen, get our first and second place finish for Shark Racing, and Jacob be able to get his first win on the same night was pretty cool. I know it. Jacob crossed the finish line, and I was so excited for him. I felt like I just won my first race. Same emotions going through my mind, but being for him, and I thought it was funny. It took me 2 laps to really catch up to him, so I could tell him good job or stick my thumb out the window and give him the thumbs up. The checkered flag came out, and he did 2 more laps at speed, so he had to make sure that he won.
Did he know that you ran second at the time? Like, were you getting transponder information or anything?
I'm not sure. I don't know. I'm not. I guess he might have from. They usually come on the radio and tell you what top 3 go to the scales. So he might have, but I know we were both really excited. Jake, everybody's seen the little in-car camera video of him after the race going around, pulling up to the scales and all the emotions that he had going on. So I love watching all that stuff, kind of hits you in the heart, and watching just, see my family back at home. And
yeah,
like I said, running second to Jacob, and I'm sure I knew it was probably one of the only times I knew my family was rooting against me that night, but it's okay. That's good. I was kind of rooting against myself in a way, but really, really cool to see Jake get his first win, and all that hard work and pay off for him, really just because of his attitude this year, and how much he's changed as a person, and tried to, really get his head on straight and focus on what's in front of him, and really have a positive mindset. And what would to me would be really hard to do for a lot of people, especially if we're getting, being out here, which is already a tough tour. The World of Outlaws is one of the toughest in the business, but to be out on this deal for 6 years and not win a race and still come back for your 7th year and have a positive mindset, like you're going to get the job done. So not a lot of people would have that attitude, but Jake did. So I believe that's why he is where he is, and that now that he had that success.
It's really cool too that the back-to-back Outlaw champion was even excited for him. I spoke to Brad, a few weeks ago on the Knoxville page, and even he was very thrilled for Jacob getting a result. But he did say, "I might not be as happy for the next one, but I'm glad he got this one."
Yeah. No, Brad's a good guy. He's a competitive guy, but he's good. He's very good to Jake, and tries to help him out in any way he can. And he does the same for me, but a competitor, but a very respectful guy, and he's great for the sport.
So, mate, before I forget about this, because you got the camera mounted nicely on the laptop just there, the shark racing thing, everybody associates that with sprint cars, and of course with the way that your pop used to have, like the big shark's teeth down the side of the hood and stuff like that. But it actually extends back to aviation and wartime aviation. Can you show me a picture that's in your basement, if that's possible, and also explain where the shark racing stuff came from?
My grandfather, I call him Papa Joe, great-grandfather. This is my, like I said, my grandfather, Bobby. That would have been his dad. And in World War II, he was an instructor for the pilots who piloted these P-40 airplanes. So that's those shark teeth. That's where it kind of started out. And when my grandfather was racing, I would have said in the mid '80s, a guy that still helps us. His name is Jack Eckert. Came up with the idea of, once my great grandfather passed away, like, hey, you should put the shark teeth on your race car. That'd be kind of cool to honor your dad, and because my grandfather and his dad was very close, so he thought it was a way to kind of honor him, and he started putting shark teeth on his race cars in the mid '80s, and kind of always had it on there since then, or since that point. So when Jacob and I started racing go-karts when we were younger, and it came, what should we call our race team? My grandfather said, well, we'll just call it Shark Racing. Or it started out as actually Shark Motorsports, and as we got a little bit older and got into sprint cars, we changed it to Shark Racing. So that's just kind of where the shark came from. A lot of people don't know that there's a story behind it, and there's a rhyme and a reason to it too.
Somehow you and I are going to get to an airfield with my camera. We talked about this. I just got to work out how the heck are we going to make it happen. But, oh, man, I've got to get your 2 cars parked next to one of those P40s somewhere in America. You know, your granddad's known for so many things, Logan, and quite funnily, he's also known for how much he used to hate weight on a race car. And for me, when the guy suggested about painting the shark's teeth on the car, I have to think, did Scruffy say, how much is that going to weigh, all that paint, when we do that, you know? Because he's legendary for saving weight, isn't he?
I'm sure that definitely was talked about when that happened. The littlest things like that you and I would think, no, that doesn't matter. Why would you care about weight when it comes to something like that? That goes through my grandfather's mind. So if it wasn't for Bill Klingbeil and him coming with that, professional look, I don't know if we would have our wings painted still or have the decals on the sides, because they weigh too much. So, but you need sponsors, and you need the people to help you out. So he's come accustomed to having that stuff on there and working around it.
Absolutely.
Our wings might be a little lighter in the process, but they have decals on them now.
I like the stuff you guys are doing with the Shark Racing socials, particularly the Scruffy Says stuff, where they quote him. There's usually a picture of him somewhere there, and they always quote this unique little saying, because characters like your granddad and guys like Carl Kinzer in particular, they just have a really unique and crystal no BS way of looking at things, don't they?
Definitely. We went to actually see Carl Kinzer a few weeks ago, and it might have been the first time I've ever met him, or if I did meet him, I was pretty young. So, and my grandfather said he hasn't seen him in probably 20 years. So I probably never did meet him, but we were fortunate enough to meet him and Mark a few weeks ago, and it's pretty neat to kind of hang out. And I don't think I said many words. I just kind of listened to Carl and my grandfather, talk about old times and old stories, and it was one of the coolest days of the whole year, that's for sure.
Yeah, I remember Carl using the word hoop de blah when I met him once. We were at Topeka in Kansas, the old drag strip outlaws race they used to have at Topeka, and I had Brad Doty interview Carl for me on a show we were doing in Australia, and he said, do the outlaws, what do they do about a tire rule? And Carl just lit up. He's like, well, the outlaws can't police the rules that they got. I don't know about all this hoop de blah. And I was like, how do you spell hoop de blah? Your granddad is still very particular about a lot of things, Logan. And you told me before the incident at Beaver Dam where you tangled with Brad going for the lead, that, he's very much focused on what you should do and the strategy and all that sort of stuff. You said you were almost relieved of the way the championship went, that it didn't come down to that incident at Beaver Dam. Can you explain what you meant by that?
So at the time, I believe, we went back and forth a few times with Brad this year, and we were able to lead the points. We started out really strong at the beginning of the year, and then had a little bit of a break because of the pandemic. But we started out strong and actually led the points for a while up until Beaver Dam, and we had a decent lead on Brad going into that night. But I've never been in this position before. I was young in the season. I knew every race, meant a lot. But I also know how hard it is to win outlaw races. So at the time, I was running second to Brad, and just how much it means to finish outlaw races. If you fall out or crash, really just one night can have a huge impact on your whole season. So, but at the time, I was running second to Brad. Brad was leading the race, about 5 laps to go, and I was catching him pretty quick. But I was also racing pretty aggressive. So instead of slowing down, I was going for the win. Ended up knocking the front end out of it and not finishing the race. Brad won and took the points lead. So it's my grandpa. I'm sure I don't know how to say it other than I got a little bit of a lecture that night on how the point system works, and if it comes down to the end of the year that I won't hear the end of it. And he didn't have to tell me that because I already knew that. So in a way, I'm kind of glad that we lost by a little bit more than what those points were worth that night, just so I don't hash that night and I would hear it for the end of time. So in a way, I'm kind of relieved on that part. But yeah, he's tough in his way. If anybody knows him, he loves to win. He's a great guy with a big heart. But his passion for racing and how much he wants to win is up there with the best of them. So he's definitely, there's times when he's definitely hard on Jacob and I at certain points. But that's why we are where we are.
Those older guys, they are stuck in their ways. They do love systems, and you and I have a mutual friend who's probably the most rigid in his ways, particularly when it comes to the way he has dinner every night of the week. In John Weatherall and J Dub, who I know is watching at the moment, and probably Vicky Jane as well. I know he's a great friend of yours, Logan, and a great supporter of yours down in Australia.
Yeah, it is. I hope John and Vicky can get back over here this year with everything that's going on. I miss them. I haven't seen them for a little while, but and I was lucky enough to go over there with John and Vicky Jane for a few years, and they gave me my first experience of racing in Australia, and I had a lot of fun with them. And Chris Strello was there every year helping. So it was a lot of fun. Coming over to Australia, the fans are always very good to me. And John and Vicky were always made me feel just at home when I was in Australia. So going over and hanging out with Amanda, their daughter. So it was a great experience. And like I said, I can't wait till they can come back over here and able to spend some time with them. So it was a lot of fun.
And you delivered Johnny his first ever win at Parramatta at Valvoline Raceway, which was super special. And mate, it's more than likely you won't ever get to race at that place again. And we're not 100% sure when Parramatta will, in fact, even open in the final season before it shuts down and starts a new venue. So that's a piece of history, mate, that you've got now that no one can take away.
I love that racetrack. So that's that definitely means a lot to me. It means a lot that I was able to go to Australia and win one of the big races with my good friend John Weatherall, and knowing how much it meant to him. And it was a really special night for myself, and I believe them also. So something I'll never forget, and I know they won't either. So just the friendship that we were able to build together, and then to go to a big race like that and win was really special to me.
Mate, Knoxville Raceway is an amazing place. And this year you look pretty good, like you were going to wrap up a main event there, except for some guy in the 57 car came out of nowhere, like he has a lot of times this year. You had one hell of a race with Kyle Larson and almost picked up the win at Knoxville.
Yeah, well, they say you got to run second before you can win those races, and that's in a way, maybe one of the best things that could happen. That we're able to lead back in the Knoxville Nationals. We've had a few podium finishes at Knoxville and weekly, regular events that we've had throughout the year. Were able to win a race a few years ago, but running second and third is what makes you better. So Kyle out. When they can show up. They're not running the full Outlaws, but they can show up where they want to, and they're always going to be one of the fastest cars around up front. So a lot of respect to them and the way they do things and how our car races. But yeah, we got into each other a little bit at the time. I was a little angry about it, but it's all right. It's racing, and that's how things go. So it's pretty cool, and hopefully I'm able to steal one of those wins away from him one time.
Your net service, your internet service just went a little bit sketchy then. You're a little bit frozen, and I don't think it's just the weather. I'm not sure if it's any better upstairs in your living room where we started at all, Logan, or not. So just give that some thought if you want to, because I'm hearing your audio, but it's a little bit sketchy. So, folks, I apologize if you're getting some delays in what we're doing. Can you hear me okay, Logan? Yeah, so it might be that.
I can hear.
Okay. Well, maybe head upstairs if you can, Logan.
It should be the best down here, but I can.
All right. Wherever. Hopefully it still works okay. You look a little frozen, but you've got the Dryden logo working perfectly.
Yeah, I can try that.
So I'm hoping that it still works okay. Yeah, you and Kyle actually got together the week after as well. You were saying, so it would seem like just for a couple of weeks there, the 57 car was in your radar a fair bit, mate.
Yeah, we Actually, that raised some. They're all talking on.
I love the way we can go into people's lounge rooms like this. Apologies for the slight delay here in the internet service. If you're just joining us, we're with the birthday boy, Logan Schuchart, 28 years of age today. And his lovely girlfriend, Summer Small, is up there as well somewhere at the moment in PA. And we're just having a couple of slight little internet hiccups. Hope you're enjoying our Wednesday Nights with Wade series. Next week is David Gravel. Looking forward to catching up with David about his plans in 2021. That'll be our final show before Christmas. Now, Logan, can you hear me okay? You may even have to jump back in on the link. Maybe we have to refresh that. So some important information for you guys. Don't forget, of course, that tickets are now on sale for that amazing NASCAR Truck Series, the Camping World NASCAR Truck Series event on July 9 at Knoxville Raceway. Hopefully that works better. Yeah, I can hear you now. You're still frozen on the screen, but I can hear you okay. There we go. That seems a little bit better. You got the Christmas lights working okay there.
Yeah.
That seems a bit better. I was just telling the folks that the trucks are coming to Knoxville, Logan. The NASCAR Truck Series, the Camping World Truck Series, will be on July 9 at the Knoxville Raceway. And on the Saturday night, it will be a $20,000 to win non-wing sprint race as well. So some exciting stuff. Plus, August 11 to 14 will be the incredible NOS Energy Drink Knoxville Nationals presented by Casey's, plus the 10th anniversary, 10th running of the Capitani Classic as well, plus so many phenomenal events coming up at Knoxville. Let's talk about the Knoxville Raceway. Why is it so special, Logan? You're a Pennsylvania racer, but why is Knoxville, Iowa a massive thing for sprint car racing, no matter where you're from?
Well, when it comes to Knoxville and the Nationals, what I think about first and always will is my grandfather winning it in 1990. So that's what I always heard about as a kid. To him at the moment, I don't know if he knew what the height or what how much weight that held winning that race. But as I got older, and I think he took me to Knoxville for the first time when I was 16, and just to go there and see the atmosphere of it. And, I was there as a little kid, 8, 9 years old, but don't remember as much as I do as when I went there when I was about 16, and to see, or just feel the atmosphere there. And, with sprint car racing, just the super cool sprint car racing and how much it means to everybody. And like I said, the atmosphere. So it was pretty crazy, and something that just always will hold a special place in my heart. And as far as a race car driver, there's nothing I mean more to win the Knoxville Nationals.
Yeah, and when you walk down that avenue of champions, Logan, there's Granddad's face on that big concrete pillar every time. It gives you chills looking at all those former champions, doesn't it?
It does. I always enjoy walking down that road and checking out each one of them, and just hoping that I can put myself on one of those pillars one day. And but I always stop and enjoy looking at the one of my grandfather, and the guy that got me into sprint car racing, still by my side, able to show me the ropes, and we're able to work together and try and accomplish these big goals and accomplishments together. And nothing mean more to be able to do that together.
Just if you're just joining us, folks, we're talking with Logan Schuchart, who is frozen on the screen, but the audio is working perfectly. So he's not a ventriloquist. He's not able to talk with his mouth closed and still be very clear, but the audio is good, which is the most important part. What's different about Knoxville as a racetrack, Logan? To the outside, it's much bigger, it's much flatter than a lot of the other places, and it's a stark contrast to Peebly, where you run a few nights before. What's different as a race car driver about that place?
Each racetrack's unique in their own way. They all have different things about them that make them unique. But just the facility of Knoxville is amazing, and for somebody that hasn't been there, I always tell them that they need to go there at least once. For Pennsylvania people that might not have the ability to make it out there every year, I always tell them that they need to at least go one time and just to experience it and what it means to sprint car racing, or why it is as big as it is. So, and I believe it never disappoints for sure. So, but just the racetrack in itself, it's shaped good. It's for whatever reason you can make up 5 car lengths on somebody pretty quick. You can also lose it pretty quick, and it's very technical. I think it heightens or multiplies your mistakes. When you do make a mistake, it shows a lot more than what it would at some other racetracks. And I believe that's part of the clay that they have at Knoxville.
Yep.
It's very sticky gumbo, dark clay, and is very sticky where it is sticky. But as the track starts to wear down and polish off, it gets very slippery. So you'll see the times really slow down and the racetrack really change. Where some racetracks where it can go from wet to slick and the times not change a whole lot. So that has a lot to do with why Knoxville is as good as it is and why it puts on a great show.
Not to give away the location too much, Logan, but you pretty well sleep within probably 100 feet of the main stretch. Like you got the motorhome parked up in a pretty cozy little spot near all the MAV TV folks right at the back of the main bleachers. So, man, you're connected to the joint physically and geographically.
Yeah, we're able to get it right there on the grounds and stay at Knoxville. So I always enjoy going there and staying there for the week of, but also the week of June, and able to take our travel in house and stay right there at the racetrack so we can be right in the middle of the action.
Absolutely. Mate, Shark Racing, it's a phenomenal little operation. And I say this with respect. A few years ago, you guys were kind of just rubbing quarters together comparatively. You were trying to do it all on a shoestring. You were saving money wherever you possibly could, and I'm sure you still do too. But my goodness, the team looks fantastic. Like your corporate partners, I know that Bill's worked really hard on that stuff, but 2-car operations are a hard deal to put on the road with the Outlaws in any competition.
It is. Our team has done a great job with that. My grandfather has done a great job with building this team up and making a dime into a dollar, and a big contribution to where our team is where it is because of Bill Klingbeil and all the hard work that he's put in. A huge help behind the scenes a lot of people don't know about, and really has a lot to do with helping my grandfather kind of manage things and get things to where they need to be. So but with all the help from Dryden Performance Products, who's been with us for a few years now, since 2018, and huge help to us in propelling our team forward. And NGK Spark Plugs has been on our car for a few years also. Layla and the whole team has been awesome to us. C&D Rigging came on our car last year. We're right here in Pennsylvania. I actually met them through my dad. We work at Harley Davidson, so I was able to meet them, and they've been a huge help and come to a lot of races. So really, really big help to our race team.
Mate, the stats that Bill gave me on your racing is quite remarkable. What an amazing year that you've had. Knoxville finishes in 2020. Of course, you started 5th and finished 3rd in May. In June, didn't get a qualifying lap because of fuel pickup problems. Started 25th in the A and got back to 13th. June 13, started 8th and finished 3rd. Now, August 13, started 1st, led for 17 laps, had a little contact with the 57, which we talked about, and finished 2nd. Capitani Classic, started 3rd, finished 3rd. But stats overall, 64 races, 54 of them outlaw events, 7 wins, 3 quick times, 28 podiums. 40 top 5s, that's critical. 52 top 10s, 15 heat race wins, 29 dashes you made, including 2 wins, 4 last chance showdowns, 9 hard charges, passed 198 cars in the A mains, led 224 A main laps, led only 1 outlaw DNF, which was at Beaver Dam. My goodness, mate. What have you done so differently this year?
I just think we have a great team that works really hard to make me feel confident. Our guys, Ron Helmick, Ben Whitman, Tyler Garber, Brendan Collum, they do a great job with our cars, and those stats are awesome that we've been able to accomplish that and build so much in the last few years that we can have those stats and win races and just put ourselves in good spots. But I do believe that I think we passed the most cars in outlaw race competition this year.
Wow.
I think you said 198. So I believe we did that. But that also tells me that it's really cool. It's great for fans. Fans love it. I know we made some fans because of that. But it also means that we need to qualify better and start up front. So maybe do a little bit better earlier in the night. We're always looking forward. We want to make ourselves better, and although we're proud of what we have accomplished, we're right in the middle of this, and we're trying to get better and always improve. So, but you do have to stop and smell the roses sometimes, and that's the one thing Bill says, stop and smell the roses. So it's definitely, we're very proud of what this team's built and how far we've come and what we've accomplished. So, but we're looking forward to next year and trying to make those stats even a little bit better.
So again, just reminding everybody that your audio is fine, but the screen is frozen at the moment on Logan. But it's a shame because I know he smiles when I say this name, Summer Small. And I was kind of looking forward to you getting that big, cheesy PA grin whenever I mentioned her name. My goodness, what an absolute ray of sunshine that woman has become in your life, Logan. Your girlfriend has just been such an important part of the last couple of years of your life, hasn't she?
Yeah, she's sitting down here. She was ready. I don't know if you say you can't see me anymore, but she's
No,
sitting
you're
down here.
frozen. I want to be able to. Yeah. Dang it. Anyway, tell me about it. She's amazing.
Come over here. She might chime in if she wants to, but no, she's been a great help to me and just a positive influence in my life and making me feel better and more comfortable. And she is my best friend. So it's she's been great to me, and there's been a lot of success since she's came around. So you can't see her, but she's here beside me.
Hello.
Hello, beautiful girl. Let me understand this somewhat. Maybe take us up on the stairs, Logan. It seemed to work better when you're on the stairs for some reason. I don't know why. Maybe there's something about your stairs that works better because that's where the video started to unfreeze. So we'll see what we can do about this, hopefully, anyway. Summer, your family are mad Freddie Raymer fans, aren't they?
So your family is Fred Raymer fans.
Yeah.
Oh yes, my brothers are big Freddie Raymer fans.
Yeah. How does that go with the Allen family and stuff like that? Does Logan give you got your family a hard time about being Raymer fans, or is he respectful of that?
He's pretty respectful. My brother, he gives him crap all the time about when we come home and they're racing them, and if he doesn't beat them, it's just always a battle between him and my brother. But it's funny. But Lucas which is my brother, he never knows who to cheer for when Logan's home, but he is always cheering for him though.
When this whole love affair started, Summer, you had to sort of have the occasional weekend with Logan. It's one of the perils of being the partner of a full-time World of Outlaws driver, and slowly but surely you got to spend more time on the road with him. How tough is it when he's away racing like that?
When I'm on the road with him, it's definitely tough being away from my family, and we also have another dog, and well, Bubba doesn't get along with other dogs, so he can't bring both of them. So Bubba goes, and I have to leave my other dog at home with my mom. But it is tough, but I wouldn't want it any other way. I love being out on the road with him. If I was at home, I wouldn't see him for months. So it's kind of a win-win for me.
Yeah, absolutely. Has racing been your whole life as well, through your family's, devotion to being Pennsylvania sprint car fans?
So I never really knew someone that raced, but when I was younger, my dad and my brothers, we always went to the races like every Saturday at Lincoln Speedway. And it was just, I grew up with it, but like I said, I never knew anybody personally like I do with Logan now. Like, it's so much more fun now knowing somebody and like being able to cheer. And my family will say the same thing. It's so much more fun actually knowing somebody on a personal level racing.
Yeah, absolutely. Can I just ask, where did you first meet and who said the first words?
Where did we meet?
I met her at she works at a place up the road called The Rocks, the restaurant, and she's a waitress. And I actually met her when I was really young. So her parents and my parents are friends. And actually, her parents babysat me when I was real young. I was friends with her older brother, and we would sit downstairs and play video games. But Summer is 5 years younger than me. So at the time, I didn't really know her. She was probably a baby. So later on, I met her when I was 26, or actually 25. But I met her at the Rocks and asked her out to go out on a date, and we actually celebrated dating for 2 years the other day. So we went back to the place I took her on a first date, and a place called Fratelli's in Maryland, a little Italian place. So it was pretty neat.
One of my favorite movies. There's a line in there. You're killing me, Smalls. Does it ever happen? I'm just saying. Does it ever happen that way, Logan? Do you ever have to say that out loud?
No, but I'm gonna need to. That's a good one. I never thought of it.
Surely you know that movie, mate. That's one of the absolute classics.
Oh, I know The Sandlot, but I've seen The Sandlot a lot of times.
Oh man, so good. Next year, Logan, you'll be already planning for that. Normally, you'd come to Australia. Obviously, that can't happen this year, but you're already planning for 2021. How far down the road are you with that?
So there's a lot of stuff still going on. Obviously I still go to the shop every day, see what the guys got going on, and help them out as much as I can. There's a lot of little stuff going on right now. I clean the shop up, making stuff look nice, and maybe getting some tanks painted and getting ready for this year. But we're waiting on some cars, and we have our stuff from last year, but we try to at least build 1 or 2 new cars a year and have what we had from the year before to start out with. So that's going to get going here pretty soon, and kind of, you have the holidays and all that, so it slows down a little bit, but we're going to get going here pretty soon. We're planning on racing some of the all-star stuff there at the end of January, so it's going to come up quick, and we're going to really start staying on the gas here soon to get things ready to go.
I had recently on my personal FB page a chat with Chris Eash, Logan, who's one of the legends of Pennsylvania sprint car racing, and there are so many of them, and so many legendary car owners, so many legendary sponsors, so many legendary crew chiefs, some guy called Davey Brown, people like that are just so legendary about PA. What is it about being from PA and part of the posse, mate? Why is everyone from PA so very proud?
I just think they have a high level of passion for the sport. It's so big in this area. It's something that so many people look forward to. There's a lot of race fans in the area. It's very easy to walk in Walmart and see somebody with a sprint car T-shirt on and make a conversation. The fans love it. They love going there on the weekends and be able to take part in it. There's a lot of history with Lincoln Speedway and Williams Grove, and just the history in Central PA and why the fans love it so much, and they're very proud of where they come from. So I'm very proud to grow up in Central PA right here in Hanover, 5 minutes down the road from Lincoln Speedway, and be able to call that my home track, and but also now to be on the Outlaw Tour and be able to represent Central PA on the Outlaw Tour. So I always say that I've always been a big fan of Stevie Smith. I always was as a kid.
Yeah.
We're really, really good friends with their family. And as a kid, knowing Stevie was right up the street, in New Oxford and running the Outlaws, that's who I always cheered for. So that's kind of how I hope that people look at me as, the hometown outlaw. So, hopefully, we got kind of close to it this year, but nobody from Pennsylvania has ever won an outlaw championship. So I hope that gives the PA fans something to cheer for, and I want to be able to do that for them.
Logan, you just mentioned Stevie and, of course, his dad, Steve. I immediately thought of New Oxford because you learn that as a race fan, where drivers are from. I had the privilege of meeting Summer, Stevie's sister, when she was Miss Motorsports, I think back in, I'm going to say it was like 1992 or thereabouts. She was an absolute sweetheart, and tragically, she lost her life sometime later. But the Smiths are just, for me, PA sprint car racing royalty, and when I think of Stevie and Steve, I always think of Summer as well. She was a sweetheart. Mate, we talked about your granddad. We talked about Bill. We talked about Jacob. We talked about the beautiful girl, Summer, who's sitting alongside you that we can't see, but we know she's there. What about that other blonde lady that's really, really supportive of you? There's a very passionate blonde woman that would just about walk over fire for you.
My mom, she does a fantastic job with supporting me, standing beside me with support with after the races. She pushes me hard to do good. She wants to know why we qualified 10th and not quick time. That's for sure. But she stays on top of it, and she does a fantastic job with the merchandise and really staying on top of it, giving the fans what they like and coming up with new ideas. And Summer's working along there with her, and she's able to take care of that on the road. And my mom's kind of going full time with taking care of the merchandise. So she has a store open every day. We have fans coming here in Hanover, get Christmas presents throughout the week, but also sending it out to our fans that aren't so close. So she does a great job with that. And really just both of my parents, my dad and stepmom, and very supportive of myself, and always give me those late night texts to help me pick my head up and tell me to keep going. And all the good the good jobs and all that, and the congratulations go far. But it's when you're having those bad nights and you have somebody like your parents to kind of pick you back up and put you on your feet, that's what it's all about.
I don't think I've met your dad, Logan, and apologies if I haven't, but I hope I get to, mate, because I have no doubt that he is, just like your mum, is extremely proud of who you are and where you've come from and where you currently race. So if we haven't already, I really hope I get to meet you, Dad.
Well, last year when we started 22nd and got up to second at Knoxville Nationals, I know you were there, but if you saw a guy running across the track with his hands in the air, that was my dad.
Sweet. Well, not sweet. Schuchart.
Yeah.
Well, I'm looking.
He's definitely proud. And you might have saw him there at Charlotte at the end of the year. But next time when I know you'll be at Knoxville, he's going to be coming this year. I'll make sure to introduce him to you.
That'd be awesome, mate. Hey, Logan, it's really good to catch up with you. And Summer, thank you for making our buddy smile so much. You're a beautiful breath of fresh air in that whole team. You're a whole lot better looking than his puppy dog. I'm just going to put that out there for you.
Man, you're going to have Dana Allen after. You better watch what you say.
Sorry about that, Mom, but she is. Hey, Merry Christmas to you both. Have a safe Christmas. I look forward to seeing how well you go in 2021. And, geez, I hope the world settles down, and I hope the three of us can stand there at the back of your motorhome at Knoxville in August, and we can say, woo, glad that crazy stuff's over, huh?
I hope so also, bud. I look forward to seeing you.
Thanks for tuning in. I'm sorry that he was frozen the whole time, but we at least got to hear him, and that was the important part. Wonderful. Happy birthday, mate.
Thank you, buddy. We'll get better internet for next time.
No worries, buddy. Thank you.
Yeah,
wow.
Thank you, buddy.
It's a shame that, unfortunately, the picture was frozen, but at least we got to hear from him. Had a phenomenal year, didn't he? Led the Outlaws for a lot of the year, and some of those stats were quite incredible. Next week, we're going to have David Gravel on the program. I'm really excited to catch up with the Gravelator about his plans for the season ahead. If you get a chance, I'd love you to check out methanolmoonshinemerch.com and get yourself some of my merchandise range for the Methanol Moonshine, hoodies, jackets, caps, tanks, singlets, and we even have a Moose Methanol Moonshine range as well, which is like an athleisure wear and all that groovy stuff. So check us out, methanolmoonshinemerch.com. Next week, David Gravel, please be safe in the lead up to Christmas. Wonderful to catch up with you all, as always. Looking forward to next week's show. Don't forget to get across KnoxvilleRaceway.com. Check out the Denison Racing Tees winter range as well. Please be safe, everybody. You all matter. We all matter. And God knows we've got to look after each other in these crazy times. Thanks very much for your company, everybody. We'll see you next week. We'll be tuning with David Gravel on behalf of all the folks at Knoxville Raceway. It's Wade Aunger saying good night. See you next week.